All right, folks, welcome back to the Made New Project. Today, the special guest is really one of my best friends and somebody who just put out one of the best performances I was able to watch, just really from the front row at his own race. But with no further ado, Mr. Nate Solomon, the king of Inkom, or the prince of Inkom at a minimum, and maybe Jen is the queen of Inkom. But Nate Solomon, one of my good friends. He is now officially an ultramarathon runner. I don't think he can deny these claims anymore. He is a man of many occupations to include construction. He also brews his own coffee, known as Leap Knot Coffee. He is one of the race directors of the Inkom Last Man Standing race. He is from Inkom, Idaho, just about 2 hours north of Salt Lake City, Utah, up in the mountains. It's a beautiful country out there. Nate is a man of faith. He is a man of family. He is a man of discipline. He is the husband to Jennifer Solomon and the father to Tough and Hunter Solomon. I would name all of his family members, folks, but I can't even name the amount of ones that I met, let alone how big that family tree is. So, Nate, I am happy to know you as not only a friend in the ultra running community, but really a brother in Christ to me, somebody I can confide in, somebody we've had countless conversations of our own testimonies on the trail, whether it be Cocodona, Mid-State, Inkom. We've luckily shared a ton of loops together. And man, just thank you for coming on the show today.
Oh man, it's a true blessing, brother. Yeah, we've spent a lot of time, and I have enjoyed our friendship, and I am so blessed to get into this running community and meet dudes like you and Brian, and and there's a list of them, right? Like you want to start naming, but then you forget someone and you feel bad. But there's so many great people in this community.
Right. And correct me if I'm wrong, Nate, but your first technical ultra marathon was the Mid-State Mile, correct?
So I think I ran mine first.
Really?
So we opened Inkom Last Man Standing because I've ran it 3 times and I've only ran Mid-State twice. So I had to have ran mine first, then Mid-State. Yeah. So mine was the first one I've ever ran.
Okay. Did you come out to Mid-State before yours? Because your race is like the brother or the sister or like the redheaded stepchild of Mid-State, whatever we want to call it.
Yeah, we're just the golden ticket to it. I'm trying to think. This is my 3rd year running it. Man, why am I messed up?
Because I'm trying to think, like, if you formatted your race off of Mid-State, you had to
We
have knowledge of Mid-State. But I was wondering if you at least came and visited the race one year, or if you just saw the documentary and maybe reached out to Becca, or how that occurred exactly.
Yeah, Jen reached out to Becca. So I was just like, we bought this land. I started walking the loop, and my brother-in-law called me and said, "Hey, man, like I was just listening to your video of you 1.1 mile loop, the elevation at 279 and stuff like that." And he was telling me about that race in Mid-State, the Mid-State Mile. And I was like, never heard of it, bro. I'm not a runner. I'm just out here walking trail. And he started telling me about it. And then another one of my friends told me about it. And I telling Jen, and next thing I know, she's on the phone with Becca, planning to build a race out here. And Becca loved the idea so much that she was just like, yeah, let's do it. Let's create you guys a Golden State ticket or a Mid-State ticket, and the winner gets a golden ticket to here. And I was like, okay, we're gonna start running races on our property. So it was just yeah, honestly, just a conversation from me and my brother-in-law and another friend. And next thing I know, and my wife, she's kind of creepy like that. She'll just call whoever she's got to call to make stuff happen. So
Yeah, she definitely makes stuff happen. And just for some house cleaning on this, folks. So the Mid-State Mile and the Inkom Last Man Standing share almost the exact same statistics or attributes, whatever you want to call it. The loop is just different. So they both are 1.1 mile loops. They both have a significant amount of elevation gain and loss in them. Mid-State roughly 343. Inkom is about 279. You have 20 minutes to do this loop. Everybody starts the loop together. You can end the loop as quickly as you want. So if it's 11 minutes, which would be really fast, but you have 9 minutes to do whatever you want. Typically, runners are coming in between 15 and 19:30 essentially to get everything done, eat, sleep, drink, whatever they want to do, bathroom. stuff like that. And then everybody has to line up again at the next 20 minutes. You can't start early or end the loop late. So that's, you go until you either quit, you can't make the time, or you are the last runner standing. Just to put it in perspective for folks that might not know what Inkom or Mid-State Mile are, they're both last man standing races with a 1 mile loop with significant elevation gain and loss. Nate, if you could describe your course and maybe the differences from Mid-State, I'd like to hear from you, considering you do it, almost every day for a long time now.
Yeah. It's definitely, I mean, like I said, the 1.1, the elevations, that's what we're going off of for these races. But ours is just a steady climb for like a half a mile, just over a half a mile. It's just that steady climb. It never really flattens out. And then we hit a couple little small ups and downs, and then you get one giant steep run all the way off back into the corral. And mid-state, man, it's their gain is really fast. You've been there. That climb, the first climb is just brutal, man. Like I'm praying for night to show up so I don't have to look up and see how far that thing is. It seems like it takes forever. I know it's only like 50 more feet of elevation or 60 more feet of elevation on that climb of theirs, but it's just that steepness, that figure eight, and having those couple different loops. Um, and it's just different terrain too, right? Like mid-state's full of trees, it's shaded. It depends on the year. It can be really humid and hot, or like this year it was awesome. It wasn't real humid. It was pretty good weather. And then the same out here, like we're in zero trees. You're in the sun all the time. Our first 2 years were super hot, like 95 degrees. So it was just like burning you out here. It was hard to keep your salts in you. And then this year it was just like amazing. Um, Cloudy, cool weather. Man, I think it was like in the 70s. And the rainstorms were nice. They refreshed me, but the few that made the track, the trail slick a little bit, that was a little tricky. That definitely took me out a few times. And so it's just, yeah, it's different trails, but they're both a challenge, man. And it's just, yeah, they're both just a challenge and a grind. I mean, you're going in a 1.1 mile loop for hours.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think you described it well. It's just, so folks, if I was to time it, you climb at Inkom for about 10 minutes straight right off the start. If I even, because the hairpin turn I was hitting at 9 minutes, you're still
Hmm.
climbing when you hit that hairpin and go up, probably for another minute or so, and then you get into that rolling section, come around up to the top, and then you start going back down. But really the course, like I said, it's about 10 minutes of solid gradual, you probably get 200 to 250 of the feet of elevation right there in that first 9-10 minutes, and then you hit
Yep.
the top, and then it comes down. And this is what makes this race hard that you don't realize until way later on, especially myself. Like, I was getting into the first loops and like, hey, this is going to go a long time. Like, this is way easier, right? Is what you think at first. And I think it's just because your legs are fresh. But then it becomes like this slow, gradual grind, because at mid-state, you go up fast, then you're flat, like kind of hanging out, for like a couple minutes, a nice little easy breeze jog, and then you're hard down, and then you kind of go through that cycle twice. Where at Inkom, it's all climb, 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 hit a flat for barely any amount of time, and then it's all down, 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 down. So there's no really like cruise control section of the course where it feels good, I guess you could say. Where at mid-state, I think that there's an argument that like the flat sections feel kind of nice because you're done climbing or not descending. Where at Inkom, you don't really get like a break of either one of those things. It would be my key difference in the course description, at least. Did we lose Nate? Did we lose him? You get over there, bro?
I'm good now. I don't know what happened. It said we reconnect or unconnected, but we're back.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. What'd you miss?
I heard you said we were climbing and then we started descending really fast. So I didn't miss
Yeah, I
much.
was just explaining that at mid-state, it's like two quick ascents, two quick descents, and Income is just a slow grind up and then a slow grind down, and like that's the
Yep.
main difference I would say for the race. Yeah, and then the rain at Income, it turns everything to a real slick. I mean, it changes the way you have to run the loop. Where at Midstate, I mean, I've ran at Midstate in a literal monsoon type situation, and you could still pretty much run it the same. Like you're not really like slipping and sliding and watching your step. Where at Income, it was so slick. Like I remember at one point I slid down one of the hills on my feet for like 10 feet straight, just sliding down the hill on my shoes. So that was something that I wasn't prepared for, honestly.
Yeah, no, it just turns it into, I mean, we're super dry, but as soon as that rain comes, and it's super nice, right? It's like a lap or two, and then it goes to really good dirt again. But man, it is greasy. And yeah, like I was pretty frustrated. I know I had that one um, round after the break, man. My watch wasn't working. I didn't know time. We were so deep in that I was just like sprinting down, and I was eating it like 4 or 5 times because I was so nervous on my time. And I swear I heard someone yell like, "Hurry, you gotta hurry!" And I was like, "Ah!" And I don't know time, so I didn't have my watch set, and I was just so frustrated when I came in. But that stuff is, yeah, it's greasy, it's slick. So the rain is no good here.
Yeah, yeah. So let's talk about starting like getting into the race, Nate. I know last year you guys said you had about 38 participants. And this year you were looking for a goal of 50, which you've talked about a few times. We exceeded that goal. You exceeded that goal, you guys Income. And so there's a few things you did specifically with social media and with some promotion. And let's just talk through what that looked like and how you found success in that.
Yeah, man, we were so we yeah, the first year I think we had like 32 people. The second year we had 36 or 38 people. And this year I was just telling Jen like I want it to grow. There's such a cool experience out here on the trail and I wanted to really push that. And one of our good friends, Dane, he actually quit his job. He's been doing social media on or he's been doing little bits of social media and stuff on the side for a long time. And he's talked about it and talked about it. And I seen him make a post that he finally quit his job and he was going all in on himself. And I just came home and I told Jen, I'm like, dude, Dane quit his job. And I got like 3 weeks before the race starts. We're at 31. I think we had 31 people signed up at that time. And I was like, I'm going to reach out to Dane and see what he thinks if we could pull off 50, get to 50 people. Like if we can get 50 people up here, it would be an amazing year. And I brought Dane down to the house and we talked about it. And he was nervous. He had a pretty good game face. He's kind of like you. He runs around with a good game face on, when you're injured or you're hurt, but you just keep a smile on your face. And he's like, "Yeah, we can make 50." And I'm like, "Dude, let's do it." So we hired Dane. He came and helped me. Like he wrote up some scripts and new stuff for me too, right? Like normally I just shoot from the hip. I say what I want to say. If I screw up, I screw up. I'm long winded, whatever. If you want to listen to me, awesome. But Dane's like, we've got to be like certain times, da 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 da. So that was a challenge for me to like read a script and stay on time and not change any of the wording and stuff. So that was a little different for me. But Dane pulled it off, man. We like between him doing these advertisements and pushing on Facebook and Instagram and sharing it to all the local people. I mean, dude, our Facebook and Instagram exploded. Um, the page got followed so many times. He was doing extra things like we got there. So we ended up getting like 64 people to sign up between Dane and
Yep.
me sharing really hard. Like, and he was awesome too because he kind of helped us run our Income Last Man Standing page and watching DMs. And he'd call me and be like, "Dude, let's message these guys and see if we can get them in." And so I'd go out and send messages and direct message people, and we got a lot of them. Like talking on the trail, like a lot of people reached out and I reached back out to them and had conversations and got personal with them and they were willing to share and they showed up on the trail and it that was cool for me too. It was a cool experience to like know the people that I reached out to actually showed up on the trail and wanted to try something this hard, because I mean a lot of these people, a lot of these people have never ran very far. Like I mean most people on this trail was under a marathon or a half a
Yeah.
marathon or some 5Ks. So, but the advertisement was awesome, man. And then I came to Dane and told Dane, like, hey, me and Jen are going to be so busy. Like, you want to run the Instagram, the lives, the everything for the race too. Like, keep it updated. And dude, he crushed it. And then he came to me on the dinner night and said, hey, man, I want to build a website or an app, a tracking app. I think it'd be super amazing. And I was like, bro, go with it. And like everybody we talked to is like loving watching the tracking app. It was live. They could see who was in, what miles we were on. So yeah, it was just Dane killed it. And to get 60, I think we ended up with 61 on the starting line. Bro, that was like, I've been waiting for that energy to be on this trail. And then with you and Brian showing up and surprising me, like I was on high of high, like just so excited to be here.
Yeah, it was incredible leading up to the race. Everything you guys do, like, I mean, I felt welcome. I felt at home as soon as I got there. I mean, your sister picked me up from the airport. Like, I stayed in your brother's like spare bedroom that he used to. It's like it was like I was already family when I showed up, and I never even met half of these people. We get to the dinner, after we surprised you, which was awesome, and then everything starts to transpire. And one thing I really want to talk about are a few things you guys do uniquely. One of them is you put pictures up of all the runners, which I think is really cool. They send in a profile type picture. It has the runner's name on it, and then they get to keep it. They switch it out with their wristband, folks. So once you go out, your wristband gets cut off, which is essentially your race bib. You go hang that on the clothesline, and then you take down the photo of your own face. Mine's like right over there somewhere. And then the other thing that's really unique, and I'm kind of wondering like how this even transpired, but everybody gets I don't know, probably a 2 foot by 2 foot poster board, and maybe 3 foot by 3 foot, something like that. And you're told the day of the race, or maybe the day before the race, I think it's the day before the race, to write down on there the hardest thing you've ever done or been through. And that was a hard question to answer to start with. I didn't really know what to put there. But what those things did for people on the trail, because what Nate and Jen and his family did is they went out on the trail, they put these poster boards in different places all the way around the 1.1 mile loop. And so you would essentially, you're going to see them all eventually. You can try to see them all in the first lap. You can try to see them in your last lap, whenever, but eventually you're going to see all these 60 signs of what somebody has been through that's literally on the same course as you. And I remember how much life those spoke to me in my times when I felt like maybe giving up or the pain was too much. I just remember looking at some of them and them giving me strength, and the fact that I haven't been through that. And I know this right now isn't as hard as that is. And I can keep going. So I'm just wondering the idea behind that, and then, what you think of it personally too, Nate.
Yeah, like I said, man, my wife is, dude, she puts in so much time in this thing, and her ideas are amazing. And I love, like, we went to the poster idea was like, okay, we're running with 64 people. We don't really know them. There's a handful we'll know, but it's just awesome to like put a face with the name, right? Like, so if you see someone on the trail, you can come back and you can find that person on their poster board and see their name, and it just makes it more personal for us. So that was Jen's reasoning for that, was like, hey, I want to be able to know, like, when they come, and really it's for like her, like the crowd and her and my team that's running here at the line, so they can see Dylan run through, but they don't know who Dylan is, but they can find him on that poster board and say his name. Because that was one of her things. She's like, I just don't like saying, hey, good job, buddy. Me, like, if I don't know your name, I'm buddy, bro, something, right? Like, make it where we're having a conversation. But she wants names. And so we so she started with those, and then she's like, I don't know where she came up with this idea. I don't know if she's seen it or her brain just built it, but I was like, she's like, I want the hardest thing you've ever been through. You've the struggles, right? Like the real hard struggles. So she's getting these signs and puts them out. And we did this last year too, man. And I think people are even actually digging deeper, because there was some really, really touching signs up there, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I ran with people, and they're like, dude, I'm coming around this course every single time. Well, I think you ran with Teresa, and she had breast cancer. and she won breast cancer, and her battle was to get a loop. And I think you drug her along for 4 loops, bro. Like, and then like listening to your story of back there helping her keep pushing to get past her 5K, like it inspired me to come back in that back and walk with you guys for hours, like, and just talking to people and getting them to strive and go farther. And I would end up on the trail with somebody, and I ended up with Daxton and or Dax, and he was like, "Dude, I see my sign every single time I come around this trail." And I was like, "Bro, what's your sign?" He's like, "Brain surgery." And dude, to listen to his story and just to watch him grind, I was like, "Bro, I've got way more in me. This pain doesn't matter right now." Like it just those signs helped me so much, and having those conversations with them on the trail for hours. I mean, like we've been on the trail for like 40 hours damn near. And
Yeah.
you just have those amazing conversations with people. The signs make people open up. Um, and it is hard. Like you said, it's a hard question. What do you put on it? And I think people kind of question it. But I think the more we do that, and every single year, like runners will come back and they're going to open up a little bit more. So I think it's going to just keep getting better and better.
Yeah, I agree. And like I said, so, to mention some of them, two of them were really impactful for me. One I know is Nikki Clausen's that said, watching my husband die, and like I get
Hmm.
choked up thinking about like that sign because like she was out there on the trail with us. Like you guys put on a 5K the same week of the race for her husband that passed away. I ran it virtually in Tennessee, so like I didn't know her. I didn't know Derek, but there was a connection there. Like I think on the trail with Nikki there, with the family there, with you guys helping raise money for that family. Your dad then donating over $1,000 or $3,000. We can get into that story later, but and to that family, and so that sign hit me real hard. And then the other one that said, I think it said something very similar, which was telling my daughter her dad died, and it's
Hmm.
just like these are things that I can't even fathom. And it just made me feel like whatever I think I can complain about, and not even on the trail, like that's one thing, but even in my regular life, like I'm still thinking about these signs in my daily life. Like they're coming back up. Like I ran with that person pushed their limits after they'd gone through something I find unimaginable. You know what I mean? And that's just a few, people who said they couldn't walk across a parking lot, last year or something like that and lost dozens or hundreds of pounds to just be there, and it was just there were just touching signs out there. And so I love that you guys do that. And I mean, I don't know what I'll write next year, but I can't compare to most of these people and the things they've been through. And it made me want to be more accountable to the trail and to what my best effort was, because I don't think that what I've been through stacked up to some of those other people. Although, all that stuff is relative to the human being, but in my mind, like it drove me over and over and over again.
Oh, I 100% agree, man. Yeah, Nikki signed, bro.
It
Like the
floored
first
me, dude,
loop
every
around
time.
there. Oh, I didn't set him up. TJ and Tuff did. They went around in the razors and set him up. So I didn't see the signs until I started running with you guys. And bro, like yeah, some of them I'm just like breast cancer, brain surgery, the Nikki's, her watching her husband die, and the mom telling her kid her dad died, and like just so many of them. And I was like, I'm with you. Like I haven't been through any of that. And for those people to be through all that and to be on this trail and to push past their limits, and I think that's something that I mean, me and you've kind of talked and shared a little bit in our stories and our recaps, but that was my biggest lesson this year. Was just sharing the trail with people, having real hard conversations, and opening up, and just like raw conversations that probably never happen anywhere else, right? Like I love those real conversations. I love having those, and I'm glad people trust us enough to open up to us. And I told
Yeah.
Jen like that was probably the coolest experience for me. And I was blessed enough to sit between you and Brian and like listen to you every time you come back in. Like dude, I got Teresa to get to 4 loops. She beat her 5K. And like, I'm helping this and listening to Danielle and Tyler back there talking to people and Noah. And I mean, hell, Noah drug my nephew around for like 24 miles or 25 miles, right? Like, just saving each other. Like, come on, man, you got it. Keep pushing. Like, all that, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, my brain is just still processing everything that happened on the trail. And I'm just like, yeah, this race is called Last Man Standing, but it is so much more than that. It is like, it's for everybody. You can get a 5K here, you can get a marathon, a half marathon, you can get that 100 miles. I mean, we've got people that are going to go that far, but if you want to just go you versus you, and you're going to dig deep and find that reason you're on the trail, like, it's here. Like Inkom Last Man Standing is amazing, man.
Yeah, and you said, well, I like what you said there, that anybody can come run it, and I truly agree with that, and anybody can find their best effort, and, like, some examples I wanna give are, like, 12-year-old Decker getting 25 miles out there. There was Decker, River, Knox, Maddox, and Ridge, I think. That
Yep.
is that most of the children, I think?
Yep.
And
Yep. That was
these
it.
kids kept answering the call, and there were multiple times where you could tell mentally they'd given up, and something motivated them to keep going. Whether it was Noah pushed them a lot, Noah, Tyler, and Danielle in the back, like with you and I know that I was always like, come on, Decker, beat your brother. And then I would go tell River, hey, beat your
Yeah.
brother. You know, like hit them against each other a little bit. And,
Yep.
but it was just incredible. And then what was crazy about that too is you saw the effects that had on River and Decker's dad, Jace, who he had like a serious Achilles pain real early on, where it looked like one of his boys might end up outlasting him. And I think the only reason he stayed on the trail was because they also stayed on the trail. And then that guy ended up pushing even far beyond when they were on there. I think is because he proved to himself that pain was temporary. I didn't have to quit. I kept going, which means I can do even more. And the dude got like 40 miles, bro.
Yep.
And it was like,
Yep.
this is exactly why we're here. Like, this is why this race exists. This is why the ultra community exists and last man standings and Inkom in the community. And I was like, this is it, dude. And I don't know if you had a similar story to like share, but it gives me goosebumps thinking about just Jace and his kids and all of them just pushing each other, you know, like they're
Yeah.
just great people. None of them are runners, dude. None of them are runners. They're really
No.
hunters in reality. And they're hunters that can hike their butts off, and they came out there and did loop after loop after loop, and it was just sick to watch.
No, I agree, man. And as soon as you said all that, like, goosebumps rolled, man. I having dads and sons out there on the trail, man, it's just like, it warms me. It like gets me so happy, because we need more of that, right? We need dads and kids, and us dads have got to show our kids what they can actually do. And I said it on my recap, but I'm proud of the dads for keeping pushing, because there was a time I think Jace was nervous he was going to get beat by his kids, and
Yeah.
we were all cheering like, dude, you'll know when your Achilles is done. And I think he finally got out of his head, and then he grinded through and got into the nighttime, which was a huge accomplishment for Jace. And I've shared a little bit about Jace, but man, he's worked his ass off for the last 6 7 years. I think he's 105 110 pounds lighter. You tell me that's not showing your kids something. Like,
Yeah.
that's what gets emotional, right? And his kid's just grinding out there. And you're totally right. Like, I watched Decker or River break and start crying, but he kept going because his brother and his dad were going. I watched
Yeah.
Knox and Maddox fight it out, like a 15 or 16-year-old Knox or Maddox and 9-year-old Knox, like, brawling brothers going at it because their dad's out here on the trail. And Clint got like into the 12-hour mark, and then he called it. He's got a big hunt he wants to do, but Clint's a stud, man. He's teaching his kids right. Like, he's got his boys out here on the trail. Tyler Horrocks and Ridge, his son, 12 or 13 years old, doing a marathon.
Mhm.
Like, bro, doing a marathon? Like,
Yeah,
how
Ridge
many
battle.
kids are out there doing that, dude? Like, that's what I was saying. Like, they're just battling, and the dad's stepping up and putting in that many miles. Like, I don't know, man. There's just so many. Like, I mean, Jamie, her marathon's the biggest thing ever. She was grinding for
Yeah.
hours, bro. And I think she
Yeah,
did 80
Jamie's
something miles.
impressive. Yeah,
Yeah.
Jamie finished at, yeah, 83.6, dude, and yeah, and she had that knee wrapped and was limping from, like, I wanna say, like, maybe mile 50 or 60,
Yeah.
early on.
Yep.
Early on, yeah. There's just so many people out there that just continued to go, and it just didn't seem like there weren't a lot of people where they just, like, bounced out, where you see at mid-state, some people kinda just they might bounce out, it's really hard, really taxing, and the one
Yep.
thing I saw with Income is I always and this isn't to say anything like in one way or another, but Inkom was like a down home, like it almost felt like everybody lived on your property is like how close the people felt out there, like, and I know a lot of the people like are literally, tied to your family in a way, but even the people that weren't, it just seemed like you guys had all been together and everybody there. And I talked to Brian about this a little bit, like everybody was just really close right from the start all the way to the end, and I don't know how many of those people you knew or didn't know or what you formed out there, but in 3 years, I mean, people out there, the community was loving, dude. By the end of the race, I mean, it was midnight and there was probably 40 or 50 people on your property still rooting the race on,
Yep. Yeah, no, it
and
was
it was
huge.
just
That's what I told. Yeah, that's what I was telling Jen. I'm like, I mean, I kind of lost staring at people in the crowd, but I could still hear them. And I'm like, I don't know a time that I came around the track that there wasn't someone yelling at me still. Like there's always someone here cheering us on and going. And yeah, man, like we had a bunch of new runners here this year. Um, I don't know. I opened the trail up during before for they can come up here and run it during weekends or nights or whatever too. So it is on our own property, but like message me, call me. I love seeing people come put in the work. So that's been nice. And I've been able to meet a handful of them, maybe 10 or 12 of them. I'll put on like a Saturday. I'll just post like, hey, trail's open. We're going to start running at 6 a.m. Come run with us. We've had 8 to 10 of us show up and do that. And my wife's amazing and makes pancakes and eggs and stops us a loop and we eat pancakes and eggs together. And a few of them are like, what are we doing? I'm like Jenna. I think Jenna come out here just to try it on a Saturday and we had pancakes and eggs. And I'm like, dude, welcome to the family. Come on in, girl. And
yeah.
she signed up with like an hour left. I kept hitting her up, and I think an hour left before the signups closed, she signed up. And dude, she was grinding. Jenna
Yeah,
Jenna
what did
hammered
she end
out.
up getting? Because she moved for a while. Yeah, she ended up getting 46.2. Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, so she just hammered too, man. Like there, and like I said, there's so many stories out there, and you're on the trail that long with people. And then the cool thing too is like at the 12-hour mark, someone's like, dude, look, we got a lot of people out here. I'm like, how many we got? And they're like, 36. I'm like, dude, that's as many as we started with last year. We still have
yeah.
36 people running at midnight or 12 hours.
Yeah, because I do think that, and I don't mean this to be negative, Nate, but I do think that a lot of people maybe thought coming into Income that this was like a soft mid state, right? And I
Yeah.
think that
No, yeah.
this year proved, right, that like there are people that don't even run, dude, that can just grind. The people that got to 100 miles, that like none of these people are named runners. You know what I mean? None of
Mm-mm.
these people are anybody that anybody really knows. They're not on a who's list in any sort. And I don't care how easy I don't even care if the loop was flat. To do 32 hours and 100 miles takes a level of grit that most people will never find. And your loop made 8 of them. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
and like I said, there most of them, I would say almost all of them, like I said, I could make myself and Brian be somebody else or something, but that's 6 of 8 people that most people don't even know at all in the running space, that
Yeah.
did 100 miles, and it just proved the validity of the quality of people you're getting at your race and the type of people that it's forming. So I just wanted to say like kudos, dude, because I think a lot of people came in thinking soft mid state, and that's not what it was at all. It was a struggle, son, and I'm grateful for it too.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's different. Like you said, it's a different course than mid state, but man, the determination on people, the grind. I mean, Alyssa, dude, she talked about quitting at 65 miles in and we got her for 100. I was kind of tired of listening to her. Ah, one more, one more, one more.
Yeah, Yeah, we
But
just
dude,
kept
she was a
we started to
grinder,
tell her
bro.
to quit lying to us,
Yeah, yeah,
because and her PR, I mean, from what I knew, I think her PR was like 20 miles
yeah. The
was her
week
distance
before.
PR. That's crazy,
The,
dude. Like that doesn't
yeah,
even make any sense, you know?
yeah. She said I ran 20 miles the week before I came to this race, and then she puts in 100. I'm like, what? And I mean,
Yeah,
Jamie, I think she said she'd done a marathon one time and did 80s. Um, Rowan was 54 miles on a buckskin run, um, and or not buckskin, uh, Scout Mountain, and she
Scout
did
Mountain, yeah.
110, 110, bro. She was grinding.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, there was just so much, man. There was so many people digging deep, and like you said, it's the climb and everything. And yeah, the weather was pretty nice for us, but you're still on the track for the trail for 32 hours. I mean, hell, we were on the track for 36, 39, almost 40 hours out there grinding. Like, I've never been there. I've never been there. Like, the most I've made it's 20 hours. Like, 66 miles is my most I've ever done. And to almost double my time, and just, man, it was just a powerful, powerful race. Like, I just can't even get through it all, man. I'm just like, the conversations we had, my brother and my kids praying over me, and me finally just like the pain was there, but I just like was like no big deal. Like, just get up and
Yeah,
walk. Just get up and
let's
go.
get into that, Nate, kind of step by step. Like let's get into your race, right? So we've kind of covered a lot of the vagueness and we could get into more of like the individuals later on. Um so at 20 hours, like you said, that was your PR. So
Yep.
starting there, like how was the body feeling and then how did it feel to get past that PR? Was there any sort of relief or accomplishment, or let's just say what were you feeling physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually at that point, because that was probably your first big milestone of the race.
Yeah, for sure. I was talking to you guys about it and just kind of setting goals, right? And in my head, like, and it's hard to tell people this, but I want 100 miles. And people are like, "What?" I'm like, I really want to hit that 100-mile mark." And as hard as I've trained, like losing 30 pounds and working my ass off for 8 months, like I put in the work, man. Like, I have grinded hard for it. And like I told myself, man, I mean, I don't know if I can do 100 miles, but I want it. And to be able to tell people that it's hard to do. But yeah, like I just started setting, and I actually went and told Dax, like I watched him grind, and walked with him for like 3 or 4 hours, and he got into the 52. I think he did 52 something. And that next loop in, I said, bro, your story, your sign, me walking with you for hours is going to help me. I said, I'm going for 100 miles. So I had that mindset that I wanted 100 miles. And I told TJ early in, like, bro, just keep me sane. Like, keep whispering stuff in my ear, keep praying for me, like, keep me fueled, just kick me out of the chair and don't let me stop. And that mindset of not wanting to stop, I think, was a big part this year. Because I think every race that I went to, I've actually stopped. Like, I've just drug my feet. I mean, I've never stopped in the chair, I've never stopped in the corral, but I've drug my feet enough, right? Like, I can drag my feet and not make 20 minutes. And I've done that to myself every single time. Well, except mid state when I forgot to change a light, battery out for my headlamp. But to get to those milestones, man, like, yeah, I want a better PR. So we set that goal for 67 miles. And dude, once I hit that, I was like, sweet, new PR. What's the next goal? I know that was nighttime. So then we went into let's watch the sunrise together. And dude, we let the sunrise. We still had, I don't know how many people we had there, 12 or more,
More than
12,
that, because I
14.
think we took 14 into the past the 24, I think.
We might have. Yeah, that might be right. So we're
No, it
like
looked
just
like
seeing
12.
the
But
sunrise.
like, but we probably had 14 around sunrise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to have that and to watch the sun come up, and then, I mean, I've never been there. I've never watched the sun come up before. So that was a new high for me too. And I told Jen, I'm like, dude, if I can get through the night and that sun starts rising over that mountain, I'm gonna get another burst of energy. I know it's coming because that's just how it works. Like when I run my sunset to sunrise walks, I know when that sun starts to climb and I can start seeing light, I just get that energy for that next 3 or 4 hours, you know? So once that sun come up and then we were talking about the 24-hour break, I was like, bro, this is real. Like we're in here for a grind. And to get that 24-hour break, and that was a huge accomplishment for me and 12 others in there. And then to have you and Brian still sitting there with me, I was like, bro, we're doing this, man. And I was so hyped up, like I didn't sleep. Like I was kind of wandering around,
Yeah.
and TJ's like, dude, sit down. I'm like, dude, I'm energized, man. I'm like ready to go. And he's like, you want to sleep? You want to? I'm like, no, let's just change my shoes, my socks. Let's see where we're at. Um, and my feet were screwed up then. I wore a different pair of shoes, and I put on like 40 or 50 miles in them. I thought they were gonna be good, but man, they hammered my toes and gave me big blisters. But I was in the mindset that I didn't even really worry about them. I didn't feel them. I mean, I felt them, but they just were there. It wasn't like a big deal. And that's where I wanted to be. I wanted to be that point where I could get off the chair. TJ and my boys were praying for me. I could get on the line with you guys. I could always rely on your smiling face and Brian's smiling face. Dude, Brian, I still see it. Every time I walk past my shop, I'm like, just look out there and Brian's just smiling at me, staring. And I'm like, oh, just staring at me. But
Yeah.
yeah, man. And it was just crazy. And then Brian and I think you two were like, all right, 100 miles is the next mark, people. But it's 7 hours away. And I'm like, bro, 7 hours away? And I think
Yeah.
that one got in some of our heads. So, and then that one come, and that was a giant feeling, man. Like to hit 100 miles
Yeah.
when you say it, like you're telling people you want to hit 100 miles and you actually do it. It's kind of unreal. It's like, bro, I'm really still going at 100 miles. And
Yeah, I know even for myself, like even at income, when you get close to like one of those really really big numbers, really big milestones, like I start to get that like short of breath feeling, like that like adrenaline rush almost, which is probably not good in the middle. I don't know if it's good or not good, whatever. But I just know like, or when you're close to finishing a race, like I mean, I've done a few point to point things or like, 100 milers. And it's like when you realize like you're about to do something that you've never done before, it's like, wow, I can't believe that I made it here. Like every single moment, it's almost like everything you put into making that happen, like it reflashes in, at least for me personally, like it reflashes into my brain. And I remember all the times I woke up at 3 in the morning, all the weightlifting sessions, all the long grinds when nobody else was out there and I was doing it, and I was maybe sometimes I wasn't liking it, but I was just waiting for this thing to happen, and now the thing is here. And it's
yep.
like, wow, we actually made it here. And I don't know, I'm sure you felt something super similar to that.
Oh, 100%, man. I get people ask me all the time, like, because Tyler Fulmer, he set that program for us, man. And I'm like, bro, I'm nervous. Like, this is more running than I've ever done in my life. And people are like, how do you do that much running? I'm like, dude, it's like 10, start at 10 o'clock and I run till midnight or 1 in the morning. They're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, that's what it takes. Like, it takes dedication to get there. But once I got there, I don't think I could go, like, I can't go back away from it, man. Like, I've never felt so good in my entire life. And like running this race, man, and a few times my boys are on top of the mountain, and to hear like you come running by your boys and they're saying, Dad, I'm proud of you, keep going. I'm like that right there, dude, just keeps you running, man. And
Yeah.
like I hit the 100-mile mark. Yeah, we hit the 100-mile mark, crossed the line, and my boys were both sitting there, and my wife, they're like, dude, you made it, 100 miles. And both my boys whispered in my ears, they said, do not quit. You got way more in you. Like,
How cool.
yeah, like, how do you, so that's like, and in your mind, you're kind of like, all right, I hit 100 miles. Am I done? But then you have those two and my wife there and TJ and just everybody cheering you on and everybody getting back to the line. Like, there's no quit. And yeah, man, it was just a grind from there on. I mean, it was a grind for a long time. Like hip flexor was messing with me. I tried running it out for quite a while, and like that worked for a while. And then my quads started locking up and a few other things. So you just got to go back to just grinding it out, and it hurts, but it's just all pain. Like we just got to get our mindset to where it's just there. Just keep going. You can do way more than you want to do or you think you can do. And I proved that to myself huge, man. Like, I'm like, dude, my hip flexor hurts, my knee hurts. I finally told one of my buddies, Sly, the chiropractor, I'm like, dude, it all hurts. It don't even matter. I'm just gonna keep going. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
just you just go, you just grind, man.
Yeah, and speaking of quads locking up, I don't want to leave out Bradley Peck either, and his
Oh,
performance of probably 20 or 30 miles on a hobbling, like stiff as a board quad that he tried to work out at the 24-hour that pretty much did nothing for him. Dude was, I mean, him and why am I blanking on what the heck's his crew member's name? I know the guy.
Caleb?
Casey.
No.
Casey, right? No. What is his name, dude? I know his name.
I thought it was
This
yeah,
is
me
gonna
too.
make me upset, dude. This is gonna make me upset. I'm gonna have to look it up. But Bradley, dude, he grinded for a
Oh,
hot minute, dude. And he is a stud of a runner, a
yep.
very talented guy, had a great year at Mid-State this year, came out to Inkom, was definitely a top contender, and just had some quad issues, and he grinded through them for a real long time.
Oh yeah. I sent him a video on Monday when
Cameron,
I
I was
walked the
close. It
trail.
was Cameron.
Cameron. There you go, Cameron.
Yeah, shout
There you
out
go.
because Cameron was great for all of us, dude. I know Cameron helped me. I know Cameron was helping Brian. I know Cameron was helping everybody in the corral. So I just wanted to shout out to Cam as well, dude, because he was just an all around good dude.
Well, yeah, you're a good dude when you show up and you help everybody, man. That's what I love about this too. You just everybody helps everybody. But yeah, like Bradley, I sent him a video, when you come up over the top and then it starts running down that little hill, and he'd always bust to the left because his quad would lock up and he was slow there. So I sent him a video of that Monday morning and said, bro, like you just kept me running every single time I'd come by here because I was right behind him every time. And he'd scoot over and I'd pass him. And he's like, bro, I think he told me for 42 miles his quad was locked up. I'm like, dude, that's
That's
a
gnarly.
grind, man. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah,
absolutely
there's just so many of
gnarly.
those moments. Like, well, like if you got back on this trail, you could replay them in your head. And that's what I've been doing the last couple days is just walking, talk, I still don't put my headphones in. I don't do anything like that. So I'm just thinking of everything that happened up on the trail and what we can do better next year and maybe add a few more races here to get more people on the trail. Cause I'm excited about it, man. It was a really, really cool experience. And to have everybody here and watch everybody grind, it was just amazing, man.
Yeah, a really crazy stat that I kind of just realized was like we took 12 into the 24-hour or out of the 24-hour, and then 8 of 12 made it to 100 miles. That's like I think it's like a marathon more from it's it's 8 hours, and we only
Yeah.
lost 4 people.
Yeah.
Like that is mind blowing, dude. That is absolutely insane. And to give credit to the 100 mile eight, we had Alyssa Humuli. There's no way I could ever pronounce this last name correctly.
I'm trying to think.
And then yeah, Himuli. I don't know. I'm reading it. Eric Limprecht, which another David Parnell, Justin Alpaw, Rowan Keller, myself, Nate, and Brian. So those were the 8 individuals that ran over 100 miles. Alyssa went out on mile 100, the loop 4, like loop 91. Then Eric, the next one, and then it kind of seemed to like echelon by about 3 or 5 loops or so. But yeah, so we get through 100 miles. I think at this point, all of us were just surprised with how many people were left. We're like, dude, how long is this thing going to go? I don't know if
hmm
you were feeling that, but I was like, I can't believe how many people are here, and I can't believe they're staying in it. Like, I just thought maybe at 100 miles, like 4 people would just be done, and that's not what
Yeah,
happened.
that's good. Yeah, I'm with you, man. And like I said, and I think we kept everybody in it too because we were so uplifting and talking and like like I said in my recap, I'm like, dude, I want you to quit, but I don't want you to quit. Like, I want us to all keep pushing until you find that breaking point, you know? And it was cool to see because we still had those breaking points, right? Like, Dave was silent. Eric, like, dude, Eric quit at 99. Like, he ran and barely made it with like 10 seconds left because he told me, I walked with him and he's like, dude, I quit. Like, at the corner, I just sat down. And he's like, that's stupid to quit at 99. So he gets up and takes off running and makes it with like 10 seconds left to get the 100-mile loop. I'm like, bro. So, like, that was amazing to hear that conversation, right? Like, the games you play in your own head. Like, I'm at 99. I'm just going to sit right here and call it quits. And then he's like, that's dumb. So then he runs and catches us. And I'm like, I love that story. And then Dave, you know, I think he was like, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 laps after. And he was grinding, bro. He was.
Yeah.
Then I liked how you got him to talk. You finally called him the silent one or whatever, he's stealthy one. I don't know what you called him. But you got him talking. He was a grinder, man. He just kept hammering it out and going at it. And I was like, dude, this dude is no quit. My wife said his body pretty much quit him when he crossed the line. I didn't get to see it, but she said he gave it everything he had. And
Well,
I'm just like,
I wish that I wouldn't have talked to that guy because he scared me. Because I think I called him like, "Hey, Dave, you're like the silent assassin of the group. You know, like you
yeah,
haven't talked much." But then he started telling me what he'd done, and he'd done that. I did it. Iditarod Trail Invitational, where he told me about him like trekking, carrying a sled behind him, tied to him for 350 miles across the ice and snow in Alaska. And I was like, this guy could easily like win this thing, dude. If you've done something like that, like this is kind of in that guy's wheelhouse, you know?
yeah, yep,
And so like I was like, dang, I kind of wish that I didn't know that that guy is like a straight stud, dude. You know what I mean? Like,
oh
but he's a monster.
yeah, 100%. When I heard the story too, and he was telling you, I'm like 350 miles, and then I think he did it again, but the weather went to like -40, so he bailed out or something. I'm like, bro,
Yeah, like
this dude is an
180 or something
animal.
still. And I was like,
Yeah,
dude, like this guy, yeah, he's got it. You know what I mean? That guy can move for
yeah,
a long time under some pretty bad
yeah,
conditions, son. You know?
yeah,
And
and
yeah, what
yeah,
you're
and
talking
you
about with
just
Eric, I thought Eric was out for like 4 loops, dude, because he had those GI issues. You know what I mean? He was getting in
yep,
the porta john, and we wouldn't even be able to really see him by the time we made the hairpin, which is always a red flag. And then he would somehow make it over and over and over again. Same with Noah Richards was like the same way. He was like
hmm
way down there. You're like, oh, Noah's not going to make. I think I said in my head, I don't think Noah's going to make it, or Eric, like 4 or 5 times each, and they continued to make it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, straight
yep,
grinders. And Noah, we haven't talked enough about Noah. I think he went out at 89 miles, but that dude uplifted everybody the entire time. He's taken third place out there before. He's been to Mid-State Mile. He's done Moab 240. Like he is a grinder and an uplifter and a smiling, just nice dude through and through all the way. So I talked to him a bunch. So I just want to give that dude like a ton of credit too. Just a straight up genuine guy.
oh yeah, yeah. Me and Noah have had great conversations. And we talked quite a bit, and he just got into his own head. And when you start falling back, it's really hard, right? Like, we all know how hard that is, and you start questioning yourself and all that. But Noah is a stud. Like I said, he drug. I stood back there and watched him uh, drag my nephews along for miles, bro. Like, that dude just wants to see people out here grinding too and getting better every single time. And yeah, I loved it when he I think he was I almost think he was on maybe Moab when he messaged me. He was on his last mile and he's like, "Bro, I'm signing up. I'm coming to win it. I'm just finishing this giant race. I just wanted to make sure I didn't hurt myself first." And I was like, "That a boy." So yeah, he's a stud. He grinds, and you never know, man. You never know who's going to be in this game.
Yeah. No, I agree. So yeah, we moved through that. Like you said, Dave went out, and then next out was Justin, which Justin was a huge threat coming in. Everybody knew he's a real fast, good 100-mile runner. Really fit guy. Also a nice guy. I didn't get to talk to him, and you probably as well, till pretty late in the race, just because he was kind of a front runner. up
Hmm.
towards the more front of the pack, which I almost never was. And but by the time we started hanging out, Justin, another just super nice guy, great stories, a lot of insight on running, just knows what he's doing. He's been there, done that kind of guy. He was a real threat to me. I just know that in my head, I was like, this guy is also another guy that I didn't know anything about until yesterday or whatever. And he could definitely win this race. So I don't know your thoughts on Justin as well.
Yeah, I met Justin. He came up here and ran this trail, a handful of times before. So he called me and reached out, and I met him here at the house. And I didn't know, but Clint, that won the last man standing last year. Clint hired him, or he helped Clint, whatever, write his program to feed and keep his nutrition up. And Justin
Okay.
didn't run it last year because he was in, I think, South Dakota running a 100 miler and took second. So the dude's a stud, man. And I talked to him afterwards. We've actually been texting quite a bit, and his feet just blistered up. He's like, bro, my legs still felt fresh. I'm like, bro, my legs did not feel fresh. My right foot was jacked up, but he's like, I talked to him a few loops. He's like, man, it feels like I'm walking on coals. I got my whole bottom, my feet are blistered. So he just lost his feet. That rain kind of got him. And once it started, he said he couldn't stop them. And he just bailed out because of his feet. But yeah, a stud, man. I can see myself running a lot with him. He's actually building a new house just right down the road from us. So he's getting ready to move to Inkom. So I think Justin will become one of the good runners, one of my good friends here and go run some miles with him. So he puts in a ton of miles. I think he's maybe that was his fifth or sixth 100 miler now. So he puts
Yeah.
in some races, and he knows what he's talking about. His nutrition's on point. Like he's really smart about it. So this was the first time I've met him was this year, but yeah, just like talking to him, he's a good dude, and I'm excited to get to know him a lot better. But
Yeah.
yeah,
And
just
how are you
blisters,
feeling
man.
at that point, Nate? Top four, top five when we get into that talk. Like, how are you feeling? What are you thinking at that point?
I was super excited to start seeing people fall. To be honest, I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know how much more I got in me. I think I still have more. Like I wasn't questioning it, but I'm like, bro, you guys have got to start falling, man. Like I want to be the top. Like I want last man standing, but you guys are just not quitting. And like when we hit that 100 mile mark and then people started falling a little bit more and more, the excitement came. Like, man, this is getting real. Like when we got down to me, you, and Brian and Rowan, I was like, bro, top four. Like I've never been here. And I mean, all those stages were new for me. I've never been past the 20-hour mark. I got the 24 hours, I got the 100 mile, and I got the 36. Dude, the 36-hour thing, I was just like, and me and Rowan were talking about that. And Rowan was a grinder, bro. She was pretty quiet. You got to talk a little bit. And then she threw that hat on where you couldn't see her. I think she was hiding from
Yeah.
us. And
Yeah.
she got kind of locked in there. And at one point, I passed her on the coming down this downhill, and I was trying to open up my hip, and she's like, "You're still running fast." I'm like, "I've got to do something. My hip is just killing me." And she's like, "I just want to cry," and I'm like, "Cry it out, girl. That's what the trail's for. Cry it out."
Yeah.
And and then a few more laps in, you guys were ahead of us, and I got by her, and she's like, "Why are these guys still so chipper? They're just so happy." I was like, "I don't know. Yeah, they got a smile on their face still." So I think he got in her head a little bit there. And then I'm like, Rowan, I think we're going to 36 hours. She's like, Nate, that's so far away still. And she's like, I think I'm done. And I'm like, well, I said, let's talk about it. So we walked for, I don't know, 5, 10 minutes and just hung out and talked. And she's like, I'm over 100 miles. I'm like, and I said, Rowan, I don't even know where we're at. I don't know. I know we're over 100. I don't know if we're 110, 120. I don't even know where we're at. I haven't even looked at the clock. My watch is so screwed up. I don't even know. I barely got time on here to tell me where my loops are coming in. Um, like it died on me. It did all kinds of stupid stuff. But she's like, I think I want to be done. And I said, girl, if you found your breaking point, that's what this trail's for. And 110 miles or whatever she ended up with is, dude, unreal. Like
Yeah,
So she was
and that's what it
fun.
was, yeah,
Um,
100 loops and 110, miles.
yeah, dude, like beast mode, right? Like she just was grinding, and it was just fun being on the trail, hearing all those conversations and talking to people, and like letting them know that hey, it's all right. Like when you find your breaking point and you want to spend it on the trail, the last loop's all yours. So, and I just told her, I said, hey, I'm gonna walk ahead. You do your thing, girl. If you need me, yell at me or catch me, but I still want to make time. So, and I think she even made time there with like a few seconds left when she came in, but she was just mentally done. And dude, props to her. She was awesome, man.
Yeah, and another just real threat. I know even early on, I was like that's a very fit person. That's a very determined person. Like you could just tell, like she is somebody else that like I mean, as she gets farther along running, I think that she's gonna be really good at all this stuff. And she already is really good. I'm just saying that I
Yep.
know when I even seeing her running form, there's just things you can tell with people, their demeanor, like it's like this is a real life competitor right here, and
Yep.
and she exemplified that, and then she exemplified like a ton of grit, just continuing to move when really you could tell like she was starting to lean into that breaking point, and still continued to push on. But yeah, to talk about everybody knows now. I guess the cat's out of the bag, but like I will smile through like anything. It's very hard for me to break like. And the good thing about it is like I don't start smiling when the pain starts. Like I'm smiling from the start all the way
Yep.
through. Like it's so you don't know when the pain has started, but just know that even if it has, like I'm still gonna be laughing. I'm still gonna be making jokes. I'm still going like that's just how I cope. And I love running. Like I love the community. Like I wouldn't want to be anywhere else, regardless of the amount of pain I'm in physically. Like I'm always, and that's what was so tough with mid state this year for me was like I was in a bad mental spot and I wasn't smiling and like, but at Income, dude, I was having a blast. Even in mine, I had pains the whole time. Everybody does, you know what I mean? But there was no way anything was going to get between me and having a good time out there. Um, but yeah, so then there's the three of us, right? The three amigos, the three musketeers, the three stooges, whatever anybody would like to call us. Me, you, and Brian. We all, me and you have known each other for a couple of years. We got to go out and hang out at Cocodona this year. And then, me, you, and Brian are also in a group chat where we talk worship things, we talk life things, we talk men things, like a small men's group. And then you got to meet Brian physically at Midstate this year, hang out with him a little bit. We spent some loops together again. And then me and Brian come out, surprise you for the race. You had no idea we were coming. Brian from Colorado, me from Tennessee. And next thing you know, 33 or 4 hours later, it's us three left. And so what were your thoughts and feelings at that point, Nate?
No, bro. Like I told you guys at the break, man, I think God literally lined you two up to help me push to my breaking point. And you guys being you and being happy and cheerful, man. Like I've got so many conversations on that. Like everybody's like, dude, Dylan's gonna win. Dylan's got this thing. He's just smiling, laughing, having a good time out there. And I'm like, dude, he's a grinder, bro. And I couldn't see your break until the couple loops, like I followed you down and I could see you slowing down, going downhill. And I sat down by you and I was like, bro, you good? And you kind of went, yeah. And I was like, ooh, he's actually hurting. And but to have us three on the line and like I think it was Brian. It's like, bro, if we wouldn't have surprised you, you would have won your own race. And I'm like,
Yeah. So Brian
that's
Brian told me that, right? Because we kind of started up in front of you on whatever loop that was when it was just us three. And Brian goes, dude, I bet Nate's pissed right now. And I'm like, why? And he's like, well, because if we didn't show up, he would have won the race. And I go,
yeah,
dude, you gotta tell him that. You gotta tell him that. And that's when he turned around and he told you, and then you're like, yeah, you bastards, or something like
yeah, yeah.
that. And it,
Oh
it
man.
was it was a good moment.
It was a good moment. And I've shared it in my recap though, man. Like I truly believe like you two got me to my breaking point because I've said it in the recap. Like I didn't break at 110, right? Like I still was going, and it took me to the 126 mile mark to break me. And if you and Brian weren't there to get me to that point, then I don't know if I had to have found my. I mean, I'd have been happy, right? I'd have been happy as hell to be at 110 miles. It's the farthest I've ever went. But I just wanted I just had that feeling that I couldn't go no more, and I finally felt that on the trail. Like, dude, I was grinding and pushing, and I felt like I was moving, but I got up to that corner and it was like 12 minutes. I'm like, 12 minutes? Been doing this in 9. And then I'd like think I was hauling ass, and then I get to the top and I'm like, I ain't making it. So I just laid down I pray up on top of the mountain every time I walk it right there. And that's where I looked at my watch and it was like, uh, 11:11, I think. Yeah, it was 11:11 when I looked at my clock and I was like, I'm done. I'm just gonna lay right here, call it a day. So, um, true blessing, man. I think, like I said, I think you guys were supposed to be here. It got me hyped. It got me on my high, and just to see you two line up every single time with me and spend 39 hours, 38 hours, whatever with you guys, 40 hours. It's just a freaking blessing, bro.
Yeah. And to say something to people, if I was to give a piece of advice here, I also could have set myself up to place better in this race if I wouldn't have invited Brian. Brian was not going to come to the race, and I would tell anybody, invite your friends that you know can beat you, right? Like that, not saying that they're going to beat you, but you know
Hmm.
that they can, you know. And I had also invited, I tried to get Eric to come run. I tried to get Kale to come run. Kale was really close. It's like I I, I don't want to show up to a race and just think I can win because I decided not to invite people that I think can beat me. Like I was so happy to also find the point you're talking about, Nate. Like mine was more physical, and I was truly just afraid of injury was the reason I went out, and now I'm running this week, which makes me upset because maybe I could have went farther. But anyways, that's a different thing. But I truly just invite people that you know will challenge you, like Nate's saying. If me and Brian don't show up, maybe Nate doesn't get to reach the point that, and that's what you're explaining, is like you don't get to reach the point of true failure of your body at 125 miles. And for me, like I think people look at this somehow for me as like some sort of failure. This is the second farthest distance I've ever ran. This is way
Yeah.
farther than I've ever been in a last man standing event ever. This was a full circle win for me, regardless of how I finished. And the
Yep.
reason I took third is because I'm surrounded by dogs, and I put myself in a position to where I know there are people that are going to literally challenge my limits, not where I'm going to show up and win and still be fresh. But luckily I carry the winners, trophy around like that. That would feel like crap compared to the third place I took and got beat by people that legitimately were better than me on that day or days. And that's just the piece of advice I would give, is just don't show up to things because you think you can win them. Like if you think you can win something, reach out to your homies that you think can beat you so that you can get you challenged, son. Or you know what I mean? And I just that was special to me to be beaten by two of my really best friends that I have in this community, and just in general. It was just a true blessing, and although it was painful mentally a little bit, because like you said, like I think a lot of people had expected me to win the race, which is a blessing in itself as well. But I'm just grateful for it,
Oh yeah.
and how were the loops we didn't spend together, Nate? The ones with you and Brian. What were those loops like? I think there was 5 or 6 of them. So about 2 hours you guys went without me.
Yeah, they were good, man. Well, just to recap on what you said, like when I seen you guys here, I told you, I said, bro, don't you guys quit. Like, I don't want you guys quitting. Don't you ever quit on me. And like, I reached out to Brian yesterday and just kind of, I was like, bro, how much more did you have in you? And he's like, you told me not to quit. I was set. I had my mind set up that I will not quit until that sun rises. So, dude, he was still planning to go another 6+ hours. And I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
that's amazing, right? And yeah, I'm with you. Like, I don't want to walk on a course and have it easy. I want someone to push me to that point, and I found what I was looking for because I've quit before, and I was glad I could keep pushing and push you and Brian as far as I could because that's Brian's biggest PR too. When I talked to him, I didn't know that was his longest race ever, so um, that was
Yeah.
super cool for me too. Like I pushed Brian to the point where he got a new PR. Like, dude, we set so many new hundreds and PRs and everywhere on this course. So it's just been amazing. And Um, the last loops with Brian, like he was faster than me. I just had my pace. He had his pace. Um, they were great, man. Like your mind just starts wandering. You're like, dude, I am the top two right now. And you're like, who's gonna break first? And I was looking for Brian to break. Like I'm like, every time I get on the line, I'd look for him to something like, is he hurting? Is he not smiling at me anymore? Like, where's his breaking point at? And every time, man, he'd be on that line, just turned around, smiling. I'm like, and they asked him, I'm like, dude, you're smiling every single time at me. I pulled up on the deal and he's like, dude, I was just smiling because I knew the pain you were in, but you just get up out of that chair and you were just grinding. I was just smiling. I was just so happy for you to keep pushing through the pain and keep showing up and keep keep surrendering and just do your thing. And he's like, you were grinding so hard that it kept me grinding. Like he's like, I was going because you were climbing out of that chair. He's like, I was waiting for you just to be like, I'm done. I hurt too bad. But yeah, man. And then your mind just starts going and it's like, how much longer can I go? And you're like, you're already at 36 hours. You're in almost the 40-hour mark and you're like, dude, I got to make it how much farther for the next break? And I think that probably started messing with my head a little bit. And I'm back there by myself in the back. And I was kind of getting to the point where Brian would make the loop and then I would barely see him going up over the trail. And I'm like, dude, he's so far ahead of me. He's just flying still. And but I just kept my pace, man. I kept my pace and I kept coming in with like a couple minutes left and a couple minutes left and a couple minutes left. And then I just, yeah, that last loop, I was kind of like, felt like I was moving, but I just was done. I hit the corner up there at like 12 minutes. I was like, 12 minutes? And then I hit the top at like 16 or something. I'm like, there's no way I'm making it. So I just, yeah, knew I was done. Got up top, laid against the fence post up there, said up a few prayers, and had Hunter came up and found me, and Tyler Fulmer, and someone else ran up there. Caleb Merrill ran up there, helped me get back up and limp down the trail. And dude, it was an amazing race, man. Like biggest PR I've ever had, the most pain I've ever pushed through, and like to feel the pain. I won't say it goes away, but it's just like it's just there. Like I
Yeah.
didn't know I could get my mind to do that, right? Like, I mean, my toenails are black and blue. My heel's a giant blister. My hip flexor screwed up. My knees giving me troubles, but it's just like once I surrendered and just went, and that was for 60, probably 60 plus miles, like my hip flexor. Like I'd try to outrun it and loosen it up and it'd feel okay for a little bit. And then I'd get back top and outrun it. But then it's to the point where like nothing's working. Just keep grinding through it. Just keep pushing until your body tells you no more. And that's what I was looking for. So it was an amazing race. And a few times, like I don't know if you hallucinate or not. I got a few hallucinations up there, and I told TJ the one time I came in, and I'm like, bro, you got to give me something because the weeds and sagebrush are waving at me. He just laughs. He's like, okay, we need some more salt. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's a weird feeling, but like, yeah, like to push through that. And I mean, I had a few breaking points, like right before 36 hours, like two loops up, and I just sat in the chair and just broke down. And I was like, bro, I don't know where we're at. I don't know what time it is. I don't know what mile we're on, but I need a break. He's like, two more loops, two more loops. And I was like, I can make two more loops. And I got to that 36-hour mark and I was like, I got to get some sleep. I've got to get some rest. But my body broke so hard. I was laying on that table and I was shaking so hard and like cold, and they're throwing blankets on me, and Sly's trying to get my hip flexor to work and my knee, and just I never got no sleep. But I was like, and someone said 5 minutes left, and I tried getting my ass up and fell over and they lifted me back up. And I don't know, man. It was just like they prayed over me. I said a prayer as I walked to the line, and I just started walking and praying and got another over 3 hours into it. Um, so I just took those as true blessings to spend another 3 hours and 20 minutes on the trail. Um, just grinding, because that was a grind, bro.
Yeah, I could tell. Every loop, dude. I mean, it was impressive. Honestly, impressive is the only word that I can. I mean, inspirational or whatever you want to call it. It was all of those things, dude. Like for you to continue to go. I remember a lot of times you would just come in and just stand over like right in front of the cross, and your family would just come around you, just bringing you what you needed. You would just stay right there, pretty much just posted up on your poles, right there, and
Podcast.
just it looked like maybe this was the last loop, and you probably did that I don't know, half a dozen times, you know, and would
Yep.
just go back out. It was incredible, dude. Incredible.
Yeah, you just get to those breaking points where you're just like, I don't want to sit down because I don't want to try to get back out of the chair. I'd rather just stand here and try to take a little rest, and instead of that, I mean, it's a pain to get out of your chair every single time. Like your hip flexors don't want to move, and yeah, and it was good, man. Like standing by the cross, and TJ and Tuff would come over and pray for me, and Hunter would throw a prayer in, and then he'd be like, "Dude, it's just a mile. Don't be a puss. Let's go." Like,
Yeah.
okay. So I had both sides of Hunter. So Hunter's quite the hype man. Um, but yeah, it was just a grind, and like I said, the signs, my kids being up there saying they're proud of me, coming in here and having people still cheer you on all through the night. Seeing you and Brian and Rowan and just everybody here cheering you on. I mean, dude, we had runners coming back, all the time checking on us. Ones that fell out, they'd show up randomly and come grab your shoulders and be like, "Bro, you're killing it. Let's go." Like all that little stuff helps, man. It just yeah, it's just a true grind and true blessing to be on the trail that long, and I'm just thankful that I can do it.
Yeah. Yeah, and just thank you to everybody that helped, that supported. I mean, I know a lot of people helped me. Tyler helped me, Tyler Fulmer and Jody Fulmer, and the Fulmer family, Bill Fulmer, and then Reese, I know helped me out as well. Sly helped me out. I'm trying to just remember everybody. TJ helped me out. Because Brian and I showed up essentially crewless as well.
Yep.
And so your family ended up kind of extending their arms outside of you and helping us out as well, along with Cameron and whoever else. Like I said, I don't even Eric Keenly showing up and like supporting the race and helping us out for a little while was really cool.
No, that's
There's
cool.
just like almost too much to even be like to sit here. I could make a list that's just like a grocery list, of the amount of people that like I'm just thankful and grateful for from this race. And it's as we move the conversation to maybe next year or what's in your future, Nate, I just want to let you know, like I plan to be back, dude. I plan to be back.
I love it. You
So
won't surprise me. You ain't gonna surprise
yeah.
me this year. No, like, and that's one thing I've said about this community, man. Like, I haven't done any other races but backyard 1.1s. I've done Inkom Last Man Standing in Mid State, but every single time I've been there, it doesn't matter. Someone helps someone else out. Like the racers fall, they give you food, they give you drinks. What do you need? I got this, I got that. Like the race community has been amazing, and that's what I've just truly fell in love with, man. Like, and I don't know, like I'm gonna run a 50K in October. I'm gonna sign up for the Scout 50 miler. So I'm gonna run some other races, but I'm like I really enjoy always having someone with me to have those conversations with. So it'll be interesting to see getting out on those trails if I get by myself, which I mean I run by myself all the time, but I just really enjoy races where every mile we're coming back in and seeing each other and helping each other, and just it's just a big part of it for me. So I've really enjoyed that.
Yeah, agreed. And shout out to the aid station. Jen heading that up, the aid station. Everybody that helped out with that. I know Melissa was a part of that. Whoever else was over there. I know everybody that ran the microphone, Braden and Tuff and JR. And like I said, there's too many people to thank, but I'm just like
Yep.
thinking of things as they come into my head. And definitely the aid station. I remember, and the aid station wasn't just like come grab and go. But at one point when we got to a certain amount of runners, like it was like delivery service. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, we've got this, and this over here. Do you want any of it? And then somebody from the aid station would just go grab you said thing, and the next thing you know, you had either what you wanted that loop or the next loop. Like they were just, it was top notch service for sure. And So yeah, I mean, what is when you guys open a registration, Nate? Tell me when we're gonna be ready to go.
So my wife is just coming off her fast, and we're gonna get. I think another week we'll get everything set up. She's the brains on that part. So, but we're gonna get it set up. We're gonna open a wait list up, kind of like Mid State does. So when you anybody that's raced it before gets that option first, right? So we
Okay,
don't
cool.
kick those people out. So we want to do that where you've shown up here, you get the first option to you're going to get. I don't know if we give it 2 weeks or whatever for people to sign up, but we're going to open that up a wait list to get everybody on there. So I would say within a week and a half, 2 weeks, we're going to open it back up. And I truly believe, man, it's going to be a wait list. I think there'll be so many people, and it was such a cool experience. Like I had I had some I've had people run like now their mom wants to run and their kid wants to run with them. Like there's just so many family members that seen how amazing this race was and like pushing through it. Like, yeah, like Dara. Like I ran with Dara a few times and she wanted to quit. And I'm like, make it to the 12-hour mark. Make it to the 12-hour mark. And she grinded and made it there. And now her mom wants to sign up and her kid wants to sign up. Like Tyler's brothers want to sign up. Like there's so many people that want in this race now. Like I'm super stoked about it. And it's just gonna get better, man. It's just gonna get
Yeah,
uh, more personable. It's just people are seeing what it's about, and like I said, it's just not that last man standing. It's everything else that happens in between, from the first person that falls out that made her best PR to the last person that made his PR. So I'm super stoked about it, and we got some plans. We're gonna have to move it up to a different section of the property, but we've got the room and we're excited to see 100 plus. Like the energy we had at 61 people, I'm like, dude, add another 40, 50 people in this, the energy is just going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy, man.
yeah, yeah. I'm
So
excited
and
to
I
see it, dude. I'll be luckily this year I can push it. You know, last year I couldn't push it because I was coming in
Yeah,
incognito.
yeah, you guys did a good
So we'll
job.
see if it helps out at all. Yeah, yeah. Well, Nate, what else? You want to talk about anything else? You got anything for the folks, dude?
um Dude, I just like I said on my recaps and stuff, I appreciate everybody showing up and helping us. I really appreciate the runners just being willing to open up and have real conversations on the trail. I heard more conversations about God and true conversations on that trail than I've ever had, which I had double the people, right? So that was amazing to me. I seen a ton of people walking in, touching the cross. That's a new addition that we added to it. That was super cool to watch people walk over and touch the cross every single time. I've got a ton of messages from people how it just felt welcoming and warm here. Like people were feeling like it wasn't just about certain racers; it was about anybody and everybody. And that's just I think it's going to just keep growing that way. Um, yeah, I mean, I think the way we started it off, with the pledge allegiance, the national anthem, and then the prayer where everybody locked hands. I think that's a huge part of the race. I just think that's a really powerful moment where everybody can lock hands, have those 5-10 minutes with TJ praying, and just everybody connecting. I think that starts the race out pretty amazing, man. Like it's really God centered around here. We have those amazing conversations on the trail, and just have the brothers and sisters here willing to put in the work and put in the suffering. It's been awesome to watch.
Yeah. And I said that too in a post that I made. That just like I really felt God on the trail out there. You know, you look around and you see mountains and you see beauty, you see creation, you see art, you know, and so you see it in the landscape and then you see it in every individual that you encounter. You know what I mean? What
Mhm.
they're out there for. Where they're all almost, dying to themselves, to their physical nature and trying to put their mental like really push the mental capabilities because I think a lot of them physically maybe didn't think they could do what they could do, and then they do it and keep pushing and that's just like they were continuing to forge something new in themselves and that's just like I just always know that, what is my best effort? Am I giving my all to God? And that's what I heard from other people, is just, I want to be here because like I'm lucky enough to be here, and that's
Hmm.
always something that I hope everybody can really put into perspective when they're doing something that's hard or just their everyday life, it's just a blessing to be alive. But what you guys have at Income, I really felt the presence out there, and the conversations I had out there were always faith filled, and I just appreciate you guys for giving us the platform.
Oh yeah, yeah, you bet, man. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The views, the sunset was amazing. Like it opened up and just became beautiful out there. And yeah, like, dude, yeah, like a true blessing, like I said, to have you guys on the trail with us and conversations and just to watch you help people and push people and drag people across those lines, turn people around, like physically turn people around. Like, bro, you got another one in you. And, but that was the breaking point for them, right? And then you get a message from the wife or the husband or whoever that was standing there watching that. Um, yeah, that meant more. That this race is, there's so many moments like that that means so much to me that I won't forget. And like I said, man, it's just I get to walk this trail every day, so they just keep flooding back. And like I said, there's so many
Right.
out there. I probably forgot a lot of these conversations that I've had out there, but I promise you, I'll remember when I start walking again. Just because it was 40 hours of talking and having great conversations with people and watching them grind and push and find themselves and dig deep. And like you said, it was so faith filled, and just that amazing conversations was the biggest part of the race for me.
Yeah, I agree, and like the stories you're telling are some of my favorite parts of the race too. And yeah, somebody's significant other messaged me because their sign, I thought it was a joke, and I'm not gonna really put them out there too much, but I thought it was a joke, and then they messaged me and kind of confided that no, like this is a real struggle that we've had, and my husband was actually the person you turned around, and I go, do you mean like, because I knew I physically turned one person around, and we were
Yeah.
coming out of the crowd to start the group, and this guy, he pretty much turned around like right into me because I was almost always in the back, and I just kind of grabbed his arm, and Nate saw it too, and I just turned him back the other way towards the trail, and he kind of gave me a look like he was unhappy with that initially, but he kept moving forward, and that's how like it like I said, I would never compare myself to anything spiritual, but it wasn't like I turned him around. It was like the Holy Spirit turned him around. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? It was just working through me, like, hey, that guy's not actually done yet. You're going to have to be the guy to turn him around, and there was somebody else who kind of did something similar. They were up ahead of me. They turned around to start to walk, to come back down. And I just pointed straight up the hill, like, hey, we're going that way. You're going the wrong way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And sure enough, they turned around and went up the hill. And Nate, you did that for people too. Noah did that for people. Tyler and Danielle did that for people. And I've never seen that anywhere else in any other race. And maybe it's because it's not really possible, somewhere like mid state, like you don't really have the time to like just like stop and turn somebody around or something like that. Like it's just not the same scenario. But at
Yeah.
Income, like if you put the right people in the back, you could kind of just literally corral them like a shepherd. You know what I mean? Be like, no, you're not done yet, and they might be a little upset at first, but they'll usually do one. They'll usually do more than one more too. Like usually that
Yeah.
isn't their last one, which is what's really, really impressive. But yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for sharing that story too, Nate, because it re-jogged my memory on. I forgot we hadn't talked about it yet.
No, yeah, that's a great. I'm glad we're ending with that because I've got so many messages, bro, and they're like, dude, like you and Dylan and the people in the back, Noah, Danielle, I mean, just a whole bunch of people are like, man, you guys were so encouraging. You pushed me to get more, and you're right. Like the Holy Spirit was there, and you were turning people around. And I've got messages. I know the exact sign you're talking about because I was kind of like, yeah, and that's a rough marriage if it's well. Now I said it. It's a rough marriage if you're putting that on your sign, but
Yeah.
dude, they reached out and they said, man, this is like the coolest thing we've ever seen. The bonding, the journey we've been on, it's going to help us so much. And I'm like, that is
Yeah.
amazing to me. A race can do that for people, right? Like, but it's not just the race. It's like having those conversations coming down the trail. Like I talked to him, I don't even know. 30 times, 40 times going down the trail. Sometime as we're passing each other or whatever, and then you happen to grab him and spin him around. It's like, dude, it's meant to be, right? We're in the right place at the right
Yeah.
time. And I truly feel that here. And like I said, we have a little more time to play with timing here, and I think it's for a reason. I think it's way more than just a last man standing race. I think it's people to find themselves, dig deep, and really have those hard conversations on the trail. Because I've always said it, like, people out here are different. They want to go through the struggle. They want to go through the pain. They want to have those hard conversations, and they need to have somebody willing to open up and listen to them. And on this trail, there was 60 people that would be willing to have those conversations. So, and it's just going to get bigger, man. Like, you put 100 people on here, we're going to have some amazing things go down.
Yeah, it's gonna be a blast, dude. I really just can't wait for it, and I can't wait for the rest of the year has in store. I mean, we're going to Hawaii in January. You
Yep.
know, maybe you accompany me to Arizona in May. Maybe you know we
Yeah.
got things to do.
Yeah. I know. I got to start making some more
But
money. I told my wife I got to figure out how to make this run thing make me money instead of cost me money.
yeah, I'm in the same boat, brother.
But it's good
But
times,
Nate,
man. It's good times.
yeah, dude, we've had a blast this year, and it's crazy. It's like it's only August, you know, and there's still a lot of year left, and then we're looking at next year, and just what else? How can it get better? I always like sometimes I scare myself with that question. Like I feel like life's going so good, like things are so good. Like how it seems like it's gonna go backwards, like the train's gonna derail at some point because everything seems like so many blessings, you know. But I just know that as long
Hmm.
as we stay obedient, keep our faith forward, you know what I mean? God's going to keep pouring back into us what we give him, you know? And that's just where I try to stay at, you know? And I'm sure you're
Oh,
the same way, and I know your family's the same way.
yeah, 100%, man. And just, yeah, the faith and believing and having those conversations and living it day to day, man. Like, that's what I told my wife. I'm just like day to day, and wherever God leads me, he leads me. And yeah, I mean, I truly, man, I look back at our relationship. It kind of just built through mid state, and then you making a post and me like, hey, man, if you need a crew, I'll show up. My wife's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm going to go crew Dylan in Arizona, I guess, go see if he can run 250 miles. She's like, dude, that is
Yeah,
awesome.
that I told that
I'm like,
story a ton of times on the trail too, because like that story is crazy too, folks. Me and Nate got close because he came and crewed me at Cocodona 250, and Nate called me on like Thursday. The race starts in Arizona on Monday, and I think he called me on Thursday. He's like, "Hey man, I saw your post. Do you still need some crew?" And I'm like, honestly, like I've got some guys, Nate, but I'd love to help you. I pretty much told you like I don't need you, but I'd love to have you. You know what I mean? I think
yeah.
is almost exactly what I said, and you're like, all right, let me check out my son's baseball schedule and I'll get back to you. And you called me like the next day and was like, hey, can you pick me up at this time? Yeah, I can. Okay, I'm booked. Like, and it was done. And I picked you up on what I think it was Sunday morning or Saturday morning,
Hmm. Saturday
and the
morning.
rest was history. We spent a week together in Arizona, and now we're here.
Yep.
It's been
Yeah.
it's
Now
been a
you're
wild
stuck with
ride,
me,
dude.
bro.
Dude, you're stuck with me. But
Who's going to buy the van first?
uh, yeah, the van life could be coming soon, folks. Stay tuned. Stay tuned for that, you know. But all right,
Uh,
Nate, you got any pieces of wisdom for the folks? You got anything you want to leave them with?
uh, the biggest thing I've had this year for me, guys, is just me taking care of myself. And that's one thing I just try to preach to people. Like, it's you versus you. No one's coming to save you. There's people out there that you can talk to and have good friends with and have conversations with that'll challenge you and push you. But we can all do more than we think we can do. And I just, yeah, after this year of me grinding it out for 8 months and pushing and losing the weight and putting in the work and to see what my results were, I'm like so excited to see how much farther I can go. And I think we all just got to be willing to put in the work and challenge ourselves to do hard things. Cause yeah, after that race, man, I'm just like, where can I go? And I seen your post on Cocodona 250. I don't know if I'm there yet, but one of these days.
Yeah, Nate's signing up next year. We're putting him in the lottery, or we're
No,
raising money. We'll charity baby you in there, but something.
there you go.
But yeah, Nate, Hey, man, folks, be willing to fail, man. That's what I always say. Like be willing to do something that you think is gonna make you fail. Make you break, because that's where we get to find out who we are. That's where we get to really answer some of these questions that we've had. Like, am I enough? Have I done enough? Like, am I willing to truly push myself? And you have to put yourself in positions to challenge those questions. And they're not found in the easy place. They're not found on the couch with the potato chips. They're not found watching your favorite football team. They're not found, taking extra naps, dude. They're found in the tough stuff. And so that's what I tell people. That's you got to be
Yep.
willing to fail. But
Yep. I
yeah,
love it, bro.
thanks, Nate. Folks, once again, this is Nate Solomon. If you're looking to connect with Nate or Inkom Last Man Standing, check him out on Instagram or Facebook. It's just Nate Solomon as it's spelled, and Inkom, Inkom, Last Man Standing. Follow both of those pages. Be ready for registration in the next couple of weeks. There's probably about 100 limited spots, so you don't want to miss out on that. And previous runners come first, and then everybody else. There'll be plenty of spots open, so you know sign up, be ready to prepare yourself, and then you got a whole year to train for Inkom, man. So it's going to be a big year, baby.
Yep.
But thank you
Big
guys
year.
for tuning into the May New Project. Nate, thank you for your time. And this is the May New Project. We're out.